What's going on, guys? Craig 1287 here, bringing you some post-patch Gunmaster gameplay here. And when I recorded this originally, it didn't record my mic coming through in-game. It was originally going to be a live commentary, but as fate would have it, that did not happen. So, just going to do a commentary over this, and going to be talking about the patch and how I think of it so far. It's one thing to go through and just talk about the stats, changes, the numbers, the values that have been changed. That's one thing, but then it's a whole nother to actually have gone through, played with the game, and really experienced what those values, those changes mean in terms of the gameplay itself. So, overall, I enjoy the changes. I think the September 4th patch was a great patch. It's not perfect. No patch really is. DICE has done a pretty good job. It's mostly changes with weapons, balance, animations with the reload times and such like that. But they've also done some good things with the vehicles, I think. Obviously, a lot of people out there are going to disagree with me on this, but I like the change to the helicopter gunner, not being able to pop those flares. A crew, or I guess just a pair, if they were communicating in TeamSpeak, Ventrilo, or anything of that sort, they could stay up in the air pretty much the entire time and just control a game, especially in Rush. You would just never get on that MCOM, just they'd stay up in the air the entire time, popping those flares or ECM, one right after the other in just perfect synchronization, and you'd never be able to take them out. So that's a good change in my opinion. They still can stay in the air. If we lock on, it's only a disable. They could still land and repair, but it at least gets them out of the air just long enough for something to happen with that MCOM, or to get out of that spawn camp in a conquest match or something of that sort. So that's a nice change. The change with the tanks and how they work with switching between the two things. Typically it's going to be not so much affecting the guided shell, but the canister shell, which those rare opportunities that I did get inside of a vehicle. I was a canister shell guy. Everybody was. It was so good. And but also with the APCs, the infantry field vehicles, or whatever they stood for, IFVs. The secondary shot with they gave you 6 rounds that were more specifically anti tank, with less splash but more damage output. That I used, so it definitely is gonna suck. I'll have to transition, but it's no big deal. I get killed by tanks more often than I kill with tanks, specifically the use of a canister shell. So those are both welcome changes for me, and I think helicopter pilots, they'll adapt, and it's not a complete nerf. It's not as bad as people are making it out to be. So, moving on from that, Gunmaster. Obviously, I'm playing Gunmaster here. Already said that. And it also was touched on by the patch. They supposedly patched it so that the MK3A1, I believe is what it's called, the jackhammer, the shotgun, the second one that you get to, that used to have frag rounds in Gunmaster. In the patch notes, it states that they would be getting flechette rounds. I don't think so. You'll see here, once I get past these few weapons and I do get to the shotguns, I'm pretty sure it's still using frag rounds. This doesn't happen in this video. I don't believe so. But in one round, I get the MK3. It was the first time that I was using it in Gunmaster since the patch, and I'm shooting a guy that comes right around the corner with the jackhammer, and I end up shooting him so close to myself, and I was already pre-damaged, that I end up suiciding from the frag round splash damage onto my own person. So that I love this. I thought that was a corpse. Thank you for spotting in Gunmaster. But so yeah, and then I've played plenty of other rounds in Gunmaster since the patch, and each one I always get stuck with frag rounds on the jackhammer, which sucks. I really want Flechette. Is this happening with you guys? Is this something that DICE is aware of? I'm guessing they are, but is this something that they're going to be able to fix? I hope so, because it sucks. That was one of my most anticipated things from the patch notes, because those frag rounds suck. And what sucks even more, though, in Gunmaster is, of course, the LVG, the grenade launcher that you get right before the knife, and they patched it so that it deals more damage, or not necessarily deals more damage, but the range at which it deals its maximum amount of damage has been increased. So you're supposed to be getting less hit markers and more kills when actually getting hits on the weapon. I really don't see that coming across as accurate. I just don't. I still get hit markers with it all the time. I do play in core, not hardcore, and finally here you see I get to the jackhammer. See, it's shooting. I'm pretty sure those are Flechette rounds. Those don't look like darts. Those look like explosions. So maybe I'm just seeing things. I don't know. I mean, I'm not even hitting this guy, but I'm still getting hits with him, so I'm pretty sure those are frags. And here, again, those are explosions. So, kind of pissed about that. Luckily, I was shooting at two guys in stairways with walls right behind them that were not even paying attention to me, so I got real lucky there. But, needless to say, I want the DICE to fix it. Still, it's an annoying thing. And so, back to the LVG. It is still pretty darn brutal. Luckily, my first two rounds of Gunmaster, after the patch hit, I did really, really well, and I actually won. I still get stuck on the LVG a little bit, but both rounds I did well. Since then, I've gotten stuck on the LVG every single time. I will get to it and have the next person 5, 6 categories away behind me, and I just get stuck on the darn LVG, and they catch up, and they just get lucky, or maybe they're just more skilled with it. I don't think this thing can have skill. Everybody's constantly on the move in Gunmaster. So, and they get that kill and take the lead to the knife, and then, of course, just knife's easy to get kills with. But that's happened in so many rounds. This guy tries to knife me, but he gets turned on. But I don't know. I want them to increase its damage, or at least the time at which it takes to explode. That would be real nice if you could do that. Or, I don't know, DICE, you just remove it. Put in an actual noob tube, or make it be C4. That would be pretty interesting. Have C4 kill as your second to last one. I mean, it would definitely be easier, but it'd still have a level of challenge, seeing as how its range is even more limited. It's more controllable. You get to choose the detonation, and you get to choose more so on where it lands. With that LVG, it's so stupid how that thing reacts to the environment. I've shot that and just seen it go in the craziest of directions. Its ricochet, bounce, whatever you want to call it, is dumb. So, aside from that, Gunmaster hasn't really changed too much since frag rounds still exist and LVG still, sadly, exists and sucks. But other than that, patch has done really, really well. I'm thoroughly liking it. It'll definitely be interesting to see how the whole change to the gunner affects the armored kill, seeing as how that will be filled with vehicles. And it's also going to have the gunship, the AC-130, and I've been watching some PS3 footage of it so far, and it definitely looks like, it takes quite a few shots from the Strela and the Igla to take that thing down, but so many people are running them in matches that these gunships are actually getting taken down so quick. So when you're not taking out a gunship and you're packing that Strela and Igla, I'm thinking these helicopters are going to get taken out real quick. And which is, I guess, a good thing, because they excel so well at taking out vehicles over infantry, just because it is pretty tough to find those infantry guys when you're flying around in those helicopters, unless your team is doing a good job of spotting. And even then, they can, take cover under buildings and such, which vehicles, you can't really get a vehicle inside of a building. I mean, you can, but then it'll collapse on you. So I think it'll be pretty darn interesting to see how, I don't want to say nerfed, but gimped the helicopters are going to be in Armored Kill. One thing going for them is the issue with how the canister shell is going to be working with the tanks. A lot less tanks are going to be taking out helicopters now, a whole lot less. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to be running autoloader now and have to take out helicopters the old-fashioned way with a tank. So, there's some give and take here and there. I really wish that this was a collateral, but, I don't get that guy. I don't get both those guys. Get flanked from the side. So, here we are. I'm on the bolt action. About to move into the LVG. And a whole bunch of times I've been on the LVG and I get knifed back to this bolt action. For some reason, I always pick up the bolt action kills the fastest, and if I get knifed back to it, then it takes me forever. And it's pretty darn annoying. But that's pretty much all I have to say on the patch, specifically with Gunmaster and all that. What do you guys want to see coming up once Armored Kill actually hits? Do you guys want to see some rush gameplay? I've seen from the PS3 footage that, look at this lunchbox guy gets me so many times. I know he's still up there, and so I keep trying to get him, but knife fails and all that. So yeah, what do you want to see? Rush gets, those guaranteed AC-130s when you're on attacker, and then when you're in Conquest, it's, I don't know how I didn't get that guy. I guess I aimed a little too high, but, so for Conquest, I think C gets the AC-130, so, if I'm on a team that doesn't cap C all the time, I don't know if I'm guaranteed to get the AC-130. So do you guys want to see a whole lot of AC-130 footage? Do you want to see some Conquest footage? Do you want to see some Rush footage? Which maps do you want to see? I'm most interested about the Alsburg Mountain. What is the snow map? And I don't know how that guy shoots me. I really don't know how that guy got me. I had no line of sight on him, which means he should have had no line of sight on me. But whatever. I get the kill anyways. I'm on the knife. That's all I care about, really. But so yeah, what maps? The snowy one. That's the one I'm most hyped about, with the nighttime map, Death Valley. That one comes in at second, and then third, it's got to be the, it's the largest map in Battlefield history apparently, but it just looks so bland with just all desert. There's a few oases, but oh, how do I get this guy? Do I get them? Yeah. So yeah, what map do you guys want to see? What game types do you guys want to see? I'll try to get footage of the new hunter killers, the new APC tank hybrid vehicle. I'll try to get some footage of that, and definitely some footage of the AC-130. I want to see if it is going to be overpowered. On PC, you're going to have 32 to 64 players. That's a hell of a lot more players that are going to be running Iglas and Strelas. So in other game types and whatnot, differences between console and PC player count, it's not too big a deal, but with this APC, the AC-130, I think it'll make it a lot harder to live longer on the PC. So, well, that's all I got. Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. Have a good one. Ta-ta.